Welcome to Taking Action. I'm Chris Colombo. We're going to go over week 8. We're going to give you our picks for week 9. Anthony is going to be joining us remotely. His brother's getting married. Congratulations to the Conover family, especially his brother and his new wife. I wish him a lot of health and luck, and I know you do too. All right, let's get down to it. Okay. Week 8, the Thursday night game was the Vikings and the Rams. Okay. I bet that game early. You got it on the juice reel. That was Thursday. It was my birthday. And what I should have done when their two main people came back, the superstars, is buy the game back and double hit it on the Rams. There was some confusion between me and Ant. No excuses. I own it. But it ain't never happening again. Because I'm going to be the guy placing the bets. I guess what happened in that game is you saw it. Coaches prepare for the game a week in advance. They watch films. They watch everything. That's why sometimes even when a superstar's out, they don't know what the other guy that's coming in could be equally as good, could be better, might be playing for his future. That's why I don't like games that have last-minute subs in it. So I think the game that ended up 30-20. If you want to know the explanation, the Vikings probably weren't expecting to get punched in the face the way they did. Okay, next game is what? Titans at Lions. Lions win 52-14. So the line opened 9.5, went to 11.5, closed out at 11. I think they covered that spread. Ravens against the Browns. I had said I had liked the Browns because I didn't think the Ravens would get all pumped up to beat up on the Browns. But not only did not do that, it looks like they lost the game.
Yeah, the Ravens actually lost the game outright. Obviously, a big shocker there. First game for Jameis Winston taking over for Deshaun Watson. So something to look out for. Maybe the Browns are playing better with Jameis.
Or the Ravens really don't get pumped up and it got ahead of them. Don't take 18 games to win a Super Bowl. Okay. Next, Packers against the Jaguars. I had surgery Friday, and I left notes for Anthony. And to make that pick, that was his pick. I'll let him explain it to you.
Yeah, definitely liked the Packers in the game. They hadn't given up more than 6 points in the second half of a game all season. Up 10 with 6 minutes left to go, and they did the classic, give it up defense. Ended up letting the Jaguars score. You hate to see injuries, but the Jaguars had injuries at wide receiver throughout the game as well. And the Packers defense just didn't show up in the second half like they've been doing. And the hook there definitely ended up catching up with me.
Okay, well, that's where the hook gets you 3.5, and a lot of games fall on 4. Team could be up 3. They score a touchdown. Game ends on 4. You lay the 4.5, you're in trouble. Okay, that's if you're going to lay it. If you're going to take it, you want that half or better. Okay, ended up 30-27. Okay, Colts at Texans. Once again, the Texans didn't cover. 20-23. But that game didn't go over, which that line moved from 48.5 to 48-46 by game time. So whoever liked the under was correct. Cardinals, Dolphins. Dolphins were at home. Went from 3.5 to 3, 49-46.5. The Dolphins beat the loss to the Cardinals 28-27. Okay, at home. Okay, next game on. This was my pick was the Falcons against the Buccaneers. That line went from about Buccaneers 2.5 to Falcons 2.5. Falcons win 31-26. By far covers, and the 5-point move was correct. Okay. Jets against the Patriots. No surprise there to me. 7, 6.5. I thought was too much. Inherently, that team, even in the Brady years, and the Jets had nobody 99.9% of the time, it falls at 3 points either way. Okay. Eagles against the Bengals. Okay, I thought was a surpriser. Bengals at home went from 3 to 2.5. Eagles blew them out 37-17. Bills -3 against the Seahawks. That one surprised me, but they blew them out 31-10. Okay.
Those are playing very well.
Okay. Saints against the Chargers. Chargers are playing pretty good ball. Line was 6 to 7.5. They won 26-8. No problem covering that game. Okay. Bears -1 against the Commanders. I like the Commanders in that game. I got them underlined. Commanders win. Wasn't a tremendously high-scoring game, but they didn't need it, and they covered.
Hail Mary to win that game.
Chiefs -10 at Raiders. 27-20. I don't think the Chiefs came with their A game against the Raiders, but I didn't watch it, but I'm sure it was a good game. Home always plays very well. Okay. Panthers against the Broncos. Line was open 4.5, went to 7.5, went to 9. They by far covered 28 Broncos, which is a lot of points for the Broncos to score, 14 for the Panthers. Okay, Cowboys 49ers. Okay. 49ers covered that, open 6.5. Whichever way the line moved, they were smart, ended up 5.5. 24-30, 49ers win. Giants, Steelers, those with the juice real got it. I love that game, even at 6.5. You very rarely ever see me play high points, and especially with a hook attached to it. Steelers played well. I usually stay away from the Giants, but I wanted to get a win before I came in here tonight. And that was the only game left to bet. I usually shy away from the Giants when I need them to cover, they don't. And when I need them to lose by amount, they never do. And I happen to be a Pittsburgh fan, so my heart is there. But I took my heart out of it. I like the game. We got to win. Okay.
Chris, the fortunes might be turning for the Giants. We bet them twice this year. We won it both times.
They're just that bad.
They are not playing well. You're not wrong there.
They're just not that. They're just that bad. I think that team has had so many years. I think Jones is a good quarterback, but I think he's disgusted. I think his receivers don't come back over the middle to save him. I think the offensive line is weakening. I think the rest of the league sees their weakness. They have a very good defense. It's not rising to the occasion. And I don't know what's wrong with them. I wish they would get their act together, but they're not doing it. But inherently, if you know anything about a Giant team, they all point the fingers of whose fault it is. And you talk to any great coach, he says the players win the game, the losers are my fault. So once you got that internal conflict, it's very tough to put a team together to go forward. So this podcast and this betting starts today. And the sad part about it is every game I picked stood up except the one we bet. And I can't figure out why this week. I was only speculating with the Minnesota game. I thought that line was out of whack with their two superstars. I mean, and normally if you're on injured reserve and you don't practice the whole week, you usually never play. But must have to be the case. Who knows what's accurate? Who knows what isn't? Okay, let's go into week 9. Okay, week 9, Thursday night, Texans at the Jets. Okay, Jets opened up 1.5. They're now 1. 42.5 is the total. I got to tell you, I stay away from the Texans, and I got to tell you the truth. I like the Jets in that game. What do you think?
Yeah, just some news on that end. Nico Collins, the number one wide receiver for the Texans, has been out with the hamstring. And now number two wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, looks like he tore his ACL. So he's out too. So they're down their top two wide receivers over there with the Texans. Obviously, the Jets haven't played well the entire season. They're 2-6. But the Jets, it's especially with the injuries. I like it.
My opinion is they wanted quick gratification. They put together a team, one of the best defenses I ever seen in the last two seasons. When Rodgers went down, they kept them in the game. They kept them in every game. They never really got blown out. I just think the defense is not playing the way it should, and all they needed. I compare that the Jet team to the year the Denver Broncos won the Super Bowl, and they had Peyton Manning. He didn't have to throw many passes. He just didn't have to make many mistakes. And Rosseville was their quarterback the whole way that got him there. And I think Aaron Rodgers by far is a very great quarterback. And I think bringing on Adams is fantastic. Yeah. Yes. I think the problem is that without that defense playing to its capability, they're not a championship team, and I don't care who they bring in, because there's teams out there that could score just as much as Aaron Rodgers with better defenses. Okay,
couldn't agree more.
What?
So I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that they're not going to try and beat the Texans this week. Aaron Rodgers likes to complain. He's an odd kind of duck, but he is competitive, and you're never out of it with Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't quit. Okay. Patriots, Titans. Titans opened -3.5. It's at 3. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't think the Titans are playing to their capability. I don't think the Patriots are as bad as everybody thinks. They've had a lot of injuries. The defense is okay. But that game scares me. Okay. Chargers, Browns. Chargers opened 4.5, moved to 2. Total was 39.5, went to 42.5. I love the Chargers -2. You got anything to say? Go ahead.
Defense hasn't played well for the Chargers, honestly. Definitely improved under Harbaugh. They've definitely gotten to the run game a little bit more. So, definitely something to watch out for on there. And whenever you have Justin Herbert, you definitely have a chance to win a game.
Harbaugh is a very, very, very good coach. He's nobody's dummy. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's coached at the highest level of colleges. I think the Browns last week, nobody expected them to play, and they didn't play the Browns hard. Because if you're going to lose to a terrible team, who cares? Okay. Next. Saints opened 3.5, went to 6.5 at the Panthers. The Saints has been a roller coaster. It's one of the teams I thought early on was going to do well, but I don't know. I have no opinion on the game. Man, you got an opinion?
No, the only thing in this game is that maybe Bryce Young starts again because Andy Dalton got into like a little bit of a car accident, I guess, last week. So maybe Bryce Young is starting again, and when he starts, they do not play well.
Panthers don't play well? They don't like
Bryce Young. No.
Okay, well, in that case, I still think home team underdog laying 6.5 on the road for the Saints is tough. Because maybe Bryce Young doesn't pay, but maybe the defense comes to play. Okay, I have no opinion on that game. It's home team underdog if you go with the Saints that you're going against. Dolphins, Bills. That is a division game. A lot of people think the Bills missed their window. I don't believe that to be true. If Steve Allen is on his game, anything is possible with that team. I've seen him do it without his starting receivers. I don't know how the Dolphins are adjusting with Tua back, but 6.5 is a lot of points. Open 5.5, which always scares me. That's a dead line. It's going to be a great game to watch, but I'll be rooting for the Bills. It's really our only New York team. Okay, you got anything to say about that?
You basically said it all. Two is back. That's about it for the Dolphins. Then, I mean, for the Bills, obviously you got Amari Cooper now. Keon Coleman's starting to step up. James Cook with the running game has been great. But 6.5 in the divisional game, like you said, definitely a lot there.
Not only that, you can't judge with the Dolphins that were two back because they're not in rhythm yet. Takes a little while to get into rhythm. Okay. Cowboys, Falcons. Falcons are -2.5 at home. I like the Falcons. And total went from 48.5 to 52. So that means they're expecting either both teams to score at least 26 points, and you take off the 2.5, or a blowout. I don't see the Cowboys blowing anybody out, to be honest with
you. No.
Okay. Broncos, Ravens. Broncos are at Ravens, opened up Ravens 10, went to Ravens 9. I'm of the belief that is one of the toughest combinations, Henry and Jamal, to stop. Henry, 21.6 miles per hour, could run the length of the field without being out of breath. Nobody wants to tackle him. That quarterback gets out of things I've never seen. They could do the run, the shoot, the RPOs, the read option, pitch backs, screen passes. I don't know how you stop that combination. But if there's one defense in the league that could be able to do it, it would be the Denver Broncos. And I'm interested to see what happens there. Because the odds-on favorite, I think the best team in the league right now is between the Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. Would you agree?
I would throw the Lions in there, but in the AFC, yeah, definitely the Chiefs and the Ravens.
I think the Chiefs and the Ravens are more balanced. The Lions, depends on if Goff has a good day. Would you admit?
Yeah, no, Goff is definitely an X factor. I mean, you give a clear quarterback edge to the Chiefs and the Ravens in that department.
Yes. Okay. I like Goff, but he's choked quite a bit in big games. Not saying bad things about it, but he has. He did in the Super Bowl. Okay. Raiders, Bengals. Bengals are 7.5-point favorite. The Raiders are so bad, I don't think anybody comes to really play them hard. And they were one of the teams last year I was high on. And they're not bad because they're poorly coached. They're not bad because they have a bad team. They're just got too many injuries. What would you say?
Yeah, they're injured. I mean, and then obviously too, you trade away your number one wide receiver in Devontae Adams. There's trade rumors, even though the owner came out and said they won't do it about their best defensive end, Max Crosby. Just a lot of noise going around in that team. So they're struggling and they're in desperate need of a quarterback too.
Okay, here's a game that befuddles me. Commanders were -3, went to 3.5 against the Giants. Normally, the Giants own the Commanders. It used to be the Washington. I don't want to say the name, not to be politically correct. They usually own the Commanders. Is that correct?
Oh, no, the Commanders have usually been good against the Giants.
Yes, that's what I meant, but I said it backwards. You got to remember, I'm still blind in my left eye. The reason why Anthony made the picks on Sunday off my thing was I was supposed to have surgery, but they turned into 3 surgeries and they dilated my eye. So I have a volcano on my eye. I don't know what the hell that means. They found the volcano. What am I, Mount Vesuvius? I don't understand why that game is only 3.5. Maybe because Giants are home. I like the Commanders in that game. What's your thoughts, Ant?
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I would have expected the Commanders to be a lot more of a favorite in this. but it's just a little weird. Maybe it is the home team, like you said, but the Commanders have been playing very well. Giants haven't. I don't know.
I think Commanders have aspirations to go to try and win a championship, if not a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think they're very well coached. They're disciplined. Uh, I I hate to lay points. I hate to go against home team underdog. I hate to get involved with the Giants. But one of my picks may be the Commanders. Okay. Bears Cardinals. Bears opened up 1.5. I don't understand why they were ever 1.5, and then went to Cardinals 1. What's your thoughts on it, Ant?
Yeah. Listen, the Cardinals are playing well. They just beat the Dolphins in Miami, obviously. So a big win from there. Bears defense has been playing well, and the offense did look like it got better before last week. This game freaks me out for some reason.
I'm not even going to watch it. Okay. Uh, Jaguar and Eagles. Jaguars, they're a little better than their record shows. Their quarterback could put up some points, but who knows when he decides to. Eagles opened up 6.5, went to 7. That's a lot of points. That would be up to you if you want. Eagles have been a roller coaster. I'd look for the upset there. What's your thoughts, Ant?
Yeah. Eagles defense just honestly still isn't very good. I know they only gave up 17 points to the Bengals, but I'm surprised it's that high.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Rams at Seahawks. Seahawks opened 3. They're down to pick 'em. Rams looked very, very, very good against the Minnesota Vikings, but Minnesota Vikings didn't need the game. I think the Seahawks need the game. I think the Seahawks are going to be ready for them.
The Seahawks did also just get embarrassed by the Bills on their home field, so maybe a little extra motivation for them this week.
Yes, a lot of extra. Rams played good ball, but I think the Seahawks are watching the films and expecting them to be in the game. But I didn't think the Rams played fantastic ball. I just thought Minnesota just got punched in the face and never came back.
Yeah, and also doesn't help that, though I think Minnesota had like 4 penalties that caused automatic first downs on 4th down or on 3rd downs. And then obviously we all saw that no face mask call to end the game against Sam Darnold, which was the craziest non-call I've ever seen.
This game, Lions -4 at Packers. It opened up pick 'em. I don't understand what would make it move 4 points. That's significant. Probably move more. I told you Packers early on will be one of the teams I'm looking out for. Packers tough to beat at home.
Yeah, obviously Lambeau's a big home field advantage. And Lions are just no pun intended, kind of an animal right now. They're scoring a bunch of points. The offense is, between the 2 running backs they have and all the weapons they have at wide receiver and tight end, they're just playing real well. But like you said, the X factor is always Jared Goff. So
I like the Packers in that game. Call me strange, call me peculiar, but that's what I like. Okay. Colts at Vikings. Vikings opened 6.5, went to 6. How do you evaluate that, Ant?
Yeah, listen, it is strange, like you said. Honestly, Anthony Richardson just can't throw the ball. Like literally, I think he has under a 50% completion percentage. He can throw the ball downfield like once or twice a game, but other than that, it's just not very good. And the Vikings have, a very, very solid defense that's been confusing for some quarterbacks that have been in the league a while. So I would expect the Vikings to do pretty well here, but 6 is definitely, getting up there.
Well, I think the Vikings got slapped. I don't think they cared about that game. But the only thing that concerns me is the Vikings played this past Thursday. that correct?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean that does give them a few extra days to prepare, though technically,
Gives them a few
because they go
extra
from
days to prepare at home. I don't like high numbers, but I like the Vikings in that game. And I think the line would have been higher if they didn't get beat.
oh, absolutely.
Okay. And let's go into that. That's which one is the Sunday night game, man? I didn't write it
That's
down.
the Sunday night game. The Colts and the Vikings is Sunday night.
Colts and the Vikings. Okay. Buccaneers at Chiefs is the Monday night game. 45 and a half it opened and went to 44 and a half. What's the injuries look like for the Buccaneers?
Obviously, we know that there's going to be no Chris Godwin with the ACL. Still no Mike Evans in this one. So, they're going to be down their top two wide receivers, of course. Against the Falcons, the tight ends did play well, but I would expect, the Chiefs to be able to kind of counter that. Chiefs also just made a trade with the Patriots for Josh Uche, which is going to help them out at the linebacker position, which is a spot they were kind of thin at. So, as the Buccaneers kind of subtract with injuries, the Chiefs, added on, and they also traded for DeAndre Hopkins as well, as we mentioned. So,
well, here's what I see. I see that the Buccaneers have weapons and tight ends, but you can't strike as quickly as you can, but as the Chiefs can. So that takes away the quick score and the long pass, of the fly patterns and the post patterns, and et cetera. I do not believe that the Buccaneers are going to beat the Chiefs. I just don't know how full throttle the Chiefs are going to go. I think the Chiefs know that they're going to win their division. I think they think they're going to be the number one seed. I don't think they're going to beat themselves up, but they're going to try and win. Andy Reid is probably the smartest coach in football right now. Okay, there you have it. Those of which you stay with it. There is no intention. I think we're one position up, right, for the season so far?
I believe so, if I remember correctly.
This podcast starts today. Don't get nervous. I'm going to tell you why. There's going to be multiple plays because the way it's developing, I can see that already because I pick 3 out of 4 every week. All. But that's not even my concern. We will be going through the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So that's going to add another, 5 weeks to the season?
Yeah, somewhere around that because you got the wild card division, championship, Super Bowl, so 4 weeks, I think.
Okay, Anthony Conover, Chris Colombo signing off. Anthony, why did I think you go to South Carolina?
I don't know, but up here, yeah, in Michigan, first time.
Detroit's a tough town.
It's very oddly warm. Like it was 85. It was like 80 degrees. So I was, I'm thinking Michigan and snow. It's 80 degrees. It's warmer here than at home.
They make a lot of cars in Detroit.
The Motor City.
Motor City. All right, Anthony from Detroit, Chris from our studio. The other thing is, naturally, there's going to be games everybody wants to play on Thanksgiving. So I think what we're going to have to do is record a day earlier and drop a day earlier for Thanksgiving. Agreed?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, so you could look for us a day earlier. Those that stayed with us, hit the juice reel. It'll pay off, trust me. The reason I don't like to bet multiple games is if you have a bad run, it's like quicksand. It's impossible you're back. Not impossible to go on a good run. Okay, I'm signing off. Good luck. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.